Hello everyone. So I wrote a new poem and I wanted to give a special shout out to my auntie Lauren Adams for inspiring this poem. And it's called Divided States of America with KKK. They want me to pledge allegiance to a flag of a divided states of America, and to the racism for which it stands, one nation created by colonization, built on the backs of Black, Indigenous, and people of color, without liberty nor justice for all. Where this nation's founding fathers founded white supremacy, that kidnapped kings and queens from Africa, that enslaved Black mothers, fathers, children, and elders, that dehumanized and brutalized, that oppressed and criminalized, that segregated then integrated, all the while still discriminated, that legalized slavery and then 13th amended it, that disproportionately incarcerated, that systemically and physically and spiritually and mentally and emotionally is guilty of murder. The divided states of America. I know how you used your laws and your systems to rename slavery. I learned about the transition from slave catching to Ku Klux Klanning to policing, trading the symbols of white hoods to stars on badges. I learned about Jim Crow. I heard about Michelle Alexander and the new Jim Crow. Mass incarceration, I know. I heard about the school-to-prison nexus. I learned about redlining. I learned from Assata Shakur when she told me that no one is going to give you the education you need to overthrow them. Nobody is going to teach you your true history, teach you your true heroes, if they know that that knowledge will help set you free. So now, I can't unsee your anti-Black media, or your infiltrating, your rioting, and your looting. I mean, I've also laughed at the memes of your barbecue Beckys, your permit Patties, and your Karens. But the nerve of this divided states of America, where they're angry when we scream Black Lives Matter, where they insist that no, all lives matter, blue lives matter, when all lives can't matter if Black lives don't matter. If Tamir Rice, Michael Brown, Oscar Grant, Trayvon Martin, Rekia Boyd, Eric Garner, Sandra Bland, Khalif Browder, Breonna Taylor, Nina Pop, Ahmaud Arbery, George Floyd, Tony McDade, where this list can keep going and going and going and going. So no, all lives cannot matter if you can't see that their lives matter too. In the words of the Honorable Malcolm X, you and I are the victims of America. We haven't experienced democracy. We've experienced hypocrisy. If we were Americans, then the problems that confront our people wouldn't even exist. And I agree. The war on drugs wouldn't have existed, especially if that crack epidemic was implanted in Black communities, especially if fathers and mothers weren't ripped away from their families, especially if tear gas, rubber bullets, tasers, and handcuffs are still used in peaceful protests, especially if property is of more value than Black lives, especially if a global pandemic disproportionately impacts Black lives. Divided States of America. You cannot self-identify as a free country when you're the oppressor. Who's really free in this so-called democracy? A nation with the highest rate of incarceration in the world. No high school class taught me that. Black Studies homeschool did. Professor Ava DuVernay's 13th did. Professor Spike Lee's Malcolm X did. Professor Angela Davis's Free Angela did. Professor Assata Shakur's autobiography did. Professor Toni Morrison's The Pieces I Am did. Professor Maya Angelou's And Still I Rise did. My summer interning at the Hayward NAACP did. I learned from Black brilliance, Black excellence, and Black resistance that this nation holds only 5% of the world's population and 25% of the world's prisoners. that this nation's 32% black and brown people make up 56% of all incarcerated people. So yeah, I learned a lot. I learned a lot about the criminalization of migration, the criminalization of melanated skin, the criminalization of the zip codes we live in, the criminalization of hoodies, headphones, do-rags, bonnets, braids, and dreadlocks, the criminalization of sexuality and gender and disability and poverty, the criminalization of running and breathing and living, the criminalization of black dissent and of our protests. Always guilty needing to be proven innocent until proven that black bodies are worthy to exist. Divided States of America. All lives cannot matter until black lives matter. Thank you.